Hello, Perfect Paints fans. Lynne Forsythe here. And I have just a few of the white mediums that are sold by Perfect Paints. So I have white stucco. I have perfect white gesso. I have marble plaster stucco. And I have metallic shimmer paste. So what I want to do is I just want to see how each one of these products is going to perform on a piece of burlap, because I'm going to be doing some canvases and I want to just see which one I like the best. So first off here, I have white stucco. So I'm just going to take a dollop of it, put it onto my craft mat. I always find that if you knead these, move them back and forth, they become a little bit easier to work with. So I have some of that white stucco on the back of my palette knife, and I'm just going to run it across the burlap to see if that's what I want for a thing. So let's get a little bit more here, just to see if that's going to give me what I'm looking for. It's looking pretty good to me. This actually is one of my absolute favorite products from Perfect Paints, is the white stucco. And I'm going to put a few little bit more layers on it so we got some dimension going. Okay, so I'm going to grab some of this white gesso, give it a good shake, open it up. Let's see what we get. This obviously does not need to be kneaded. So I've got some of that white gesso on the back of my palette knife, and I'm just going to rub that over this. All right, so that's a little bit of a different, because it is more fluid than the white stucco, or actually more fluid than any of them. All right, so I'm just going to take this. That was the Perfect Paints Perfect White Gesso. Oh, and that one even went through. Okay. All right, I'm going to set that one up here also to dry. So next in our lineup is the Marble Plaster Stucco. Now this is definitely the thicker of all of the mediums. Once again, I'm just going to put this on my craft mat. I'm going to knead it around, get it a little more loosened up. All right, and let's see how this one works. All right, so this is functioning kind of along the lines of the white stucco and how that worked. But this one does have another trait to it, that it will crack. So I'm just kind of putting on a thick layer here to see what the Marble Plaster Stucco is gonna look like when it dries on my burlap. And lastly, we have the Metallic Shimmer Paste. And let's open this one up. Oh, this one's nice and light and fluffy. This one does not need any kneading. All right, so I have some of it on the back of my palette knife. Once again, oh, this is just so creamy, and this just slides on easily. All right, so we're gonna do that. I'll give it a few little tappy taps to give it some peaks. Although I did notice when I did that it pulled it right off the burlap. All righty, so there are my 4 products. I'm gonna let them percolate and dry, and we'll come back to see what the results are. Okay, so I have my 4 samples here. They've been sitting here for about a half hour, 45 minutes. So I'm just going to go through them with you. Here we have the white stucco. It is pretty much totally dried. It's definitely on the top of the material, but I love this. Secondly, we have the perfect white stucco. And as you saw when I was doing it, it did soak through, so it doesn't give you that solid white of the white stucco over here. It's good, great application if that's what you're looking for, but not what I like. All right. And then we have here the metallic shimmer paste. This is super cool, but for what I'm doing, the shimmer just isn't going to get it for me. But this came out really nice and it's well adhered. And so that's a good alternative. And lastly, we have the marble plaster stucco. Now, due to the density of this product, it is not dry yet. But I think for the time frame that I'm looking for, that my white stucco is going to work better. Although I can't wait to see what this one actually looks like when it's totally dry. So here we have the finished product. I did use the white stucco on here. I didn't do the extra layer that I had done in the original trial one, but this came out awesome. I also added it onto the flower petals and onto the ivy leaves and the whole thing. So this ended up being my completed project, and I think it came out pretty cool. What do you think? I would love to hear your answer down in the comments. Until we meet again, stay creative. Bye.